Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for a video on a product by a new company, at least new to me. Now, Comicave Studios have been around for a while and they've made Transformers stuff and a bunch of other bits and pieces, but it wasn't until I saw this Hulkbuster that they got on my radar. Now, I saw this guy on toyswonderland.com and I absolutely had to have him because, spoiler alert, he's 75% diecast. That is insane to even fathom. Now, if you are looking to pick him up, as I said, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is, of course, down in the description below, and they do have 12-month installment plans if you are a fan of paying off your figures over time. What we are going to do now, though, is get the box laying flat in the light box and do the unboxing. And here, of course, we have the box art for the Hulkbuster. Even though this thing is 1/12 scale, this box is enormous, which of course means the figure inside is going to be one chonky, beefy boy. Now you can see an image of the Hulkbuster right up here on the front of the box, and I like the fact that it's done in this glossy style print, which contrasts quite nicely with the matte of the rest of the box. On the side we do of course have Hulkbuster done in this beautiful metallic foil, and on the back we have some specs. First of all, he is 75% diecast, which, yeah, I can feel every single percentage of that as I try and flip the box over. LED lights articulated with more than 60 points, and playable, so yeah, that's always a good thing. We also have another image of the Hulkbuster right here on the other side. Now let's get this guy out here. I have been curious to say the least. I've never owned anything from Comicave before, but here you can see a couple more product shots and then another image of the Hulkbuster himself, this time with all the lights on. But a lot of people have told me to pick this guy up. Now 3-0 is also making their own Hulkbuster, so yes, I will be reviewing that on the channel as well when it eventually does come out. And boy oh boy, have we got a thick, chonky boy here. He's also for some reason zip-tied down. Not exactly sure if I will be able to remove him. I'm pretty sure he's secured to the bottom of the tray. So what we are going to do now is, off camera, cut the zip ties and get him out here. And here we have him out of the box. I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised. I've never owned a single product from this company before, but now they're well and truly on my radar. This guy is a beast. He weighs a ton, and he's painted to the nines. I can already also tell that he's no slouch when it comes to articulation. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't come with any accessories. No swap out hands, or blast effects, or Veronica, or jackhammer arm. It's literally what you see is what you get. But there is one sneaky hidden accessory inside the Hulkbuster. More on that though in just a second. So without any accessories, we have to skip the accessory segment. So what we are going to do now is get him standing on the turntable and take a closer look. And here we have him standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And you'd be forgiven for thinking that was the Hot Toys Hulkbuster, but I guarantee you it isn't. It's the Comicave one, the 1/12 scale version, because the paint just looks outstanding. It's scuffed and weathered, the red is suitably vibrant and metallic, the gold looks great as well. And then the proportions on this guy, he looks literally like the Hot Toys version, just shrunk down to 1/12 scale. I wasn't sure I was going to like this guy, I bought him on a whim, but now having him in hand, I'm all in with Comicave. If they go ahead and make more Infinity Saga stuff, yeah, I'll be picking it up because this guy is super darn impressive. Now, I'll be trying my best to showcase as much as this guy can do as possible, but there is so much going on here. He's super intricate, he's chock full of metal, so he's a little bit unwieldy to have on camera and wrangle, so I'll do my very best. But if I do miss something, you'll have to let me know down in the comments below. What we are going to do now, though, is take him off the rotating turntable, punch in, and take a closer look at the details. And here we have him up close and personal. This guy is an absolute feast for the eyes. I am super impressed with what Comicave have done here. I didn't even think this was possible, but if this is a sneak preview for what the 301 is going to be like, yeah, y'all are going to be really darn happy. But if you don't want to wait, just pick this one up now. It's already available, and it's fantastic. As I said, and you saw on the box, it's 75% diecast, so yes, it's one sturdy, hefty boy. Now this segment will be split up into a couple of components. There is an opening gimmick style feature, which we'll see in just a second. There are also some lights. So yes, we will be going through all of that in this clip. Now, let's talk about the paint applications first. It's beautiful. The gold is suitably gold, the red is deep and metallic, and then on all of the high spots of the armor, there's chipping and weathering and wear and tear. You can see up on the top here, it looks like he's been flying and the wind has blasted some of the paint off, or he's been potentially battling with the Hulk at this point, and the armor is a little bit worse for wear. But whatever the reason, I love it. You can see even down here on the legs, there's scuffing and chipping. It looks $1,000,000. He also has oil stain washers in the crevices, so it's not just a flat silver or a flat gold. There's panel lining, there's proper detail here. Starting off with one of the arms, yes, you can see the shoulder pads are stunning. He even has these little vent sections, which for some reason I really like. And if you wanted to, because I've seen so many people do it with the Hot Toys one, you can angle these shoulder pads out. I'm not exactly sure why people do that, because it's not accurate to the film. They're supposed to be angled down, but either way, you can do it if you want to. Now, these panels can actually open and expand. First of all, you pull that piece down, slide it up on top, and then you can slide that piece up on top as well. You can then extend out this silver component. I'm not exactly sure what these panels or pieces do, so let me know down in the comments below if you do know what they are supposed to be. But I like the fact that there are more moving parts and pieces, and they do compress rather seamlessly. As for the lower torso and the legs, you can see there is also a ton of detail here. There is pretty much a piece of tech detailing on every surface, and yeah, I'm loving how it looks. Also, you'll see when we get to articulation, he's relatively well articulated for such a chunky, beefy boy. He even has pistons on the back here, which are done in a rubbery style plastic, so they shouldn't get damaged if you do go a little bit crazy with your posing. Lastly, down here on the feet, you can see there is a ton of detail even on the underside with, I'm pretty sure, a light for the thruster. But there is actually a gimmick, and it's a really darn cool one. If you hit this button up on top, the panels will spring open. You can then move the head up, move this panel down, and remove this inner chin guard. And now, yes, you have a Mark 43 on the inside. It's just a bust, like the Hot Toys one, but the head and neck can actually move around. I really like that, and of course to reassemble it, you very simply slot in the pieces that you just removed. That piece goes in, you push that and it goes up. You then slide across these two panels. Now these can be a little bit fiddly to get in, but when you push them up, they will click into place and you'll hear it quite audibly. But as you can see, this one is being just a little bit challenging. There it goes. Then you can push these panels down and you can simply move the head down. But I'm pretty sure you'll want to see what he looks like with the lights on, so... And there you have it, all of the lights on the Hulkbuster are turned on. Don't worry, we will dim the studio lights in just a second as well, so you can see what he looks like in the darkness. But yeah, there are a ton of individual LEDs, even in the backpack, in the palm of his hand, of course the main central arc reactor, and then my favorite are the legs. Big honkin' arc reactor on the front, another one on the side, plus another big one on the back, and yes, even on the underside, these do light up. So yeah, this guy is in the running for one of the coolest 1/12 scale Iron Man figures I have in my collection. Now, turning off the lights in the studio, this is what he looks like with the lights dimmed. And as you can see, he glows a treat. The LEDs are super punchy and vibrant, and they are a little bit blue tinted as well, just like the arc reactors in the film. I have to say, I'm super impressed with the LED function on the Hulkbuster. Now for a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have the Comicave Hulkbuster on the right and the Marvel Legends variant Loki on the left, just to give you an idea of how he would scale alongside a Marvel Legends release. And yeah, for me, this works. He is potentially still slightly too small because Marvel Legends are on the bigger side of 1/12 scale, but I think this works a heck of a lot better than that Build-A-Figure version that they gave you. And if you did want to use him with your Figuarts Iron Man figures, I think that would work quite nicely as well. So yes, this guy, I think, is an appropriate size, not overly big and not overly small. Just going over articulation on Hulkbuster. Now do bear in mind this is my personal copy of the big boy, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I'm sure when you get yours in hand, you can push the joints slightly further than I'm willing to go. Also, there are about 1,000,001 different moving parts and panels here, so if I miss something, you'll have to forgive me, and of course let me know what it was down in the comments below. Let's start off with the head, which is unfortunately the least articulated piece. It simply swivels side to side. Now you can technically get it looking slightly up, but that's literally just the opening mechanism. As for the arms, they will swivel forward and back, and they will go up and down. These shoulder pads, being of course made of metal, can move out, and then you get more range of motion, but that's not it. You can also pull the arms slightly out, getting them to go even higher. You also have a swivel at the bicep, a bend at the elbow, but then you can extend the forearm down to get it to bend up even higher. As for the wrist, there is a swivel down there at the wrist, and you can also pull it out slightly to get even more range for that swivel forward and back. You also have a fully articulated set of hands. As for the torso, don't forget, this has all that opening tech here, so it will be slightly more cumbersome to work with, but you do have a ball joint which goes forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. The legs themselves will go forward to about there, not a hell of a lot, and out to about there. You can of course swivel at the upper thigh, which is once again restricted due to the chonky nature of it, but coming down to the knee, you have a ton of bending here. You can also extend the leg down. As you can see, this is the compressed state. You can then pull it down to get slightly more range of motion. As for the foot, you do have these little dongles, which are on springs. The foot itself can move forward and back, swivel, and pivot side to side. And lastly, for the toe, even though it is a little bit restricted, you do have toe articulation. Just wrapping up on the Comicave Studios Hulkbuster. Now, if Hot Toys' big honkin' Hulkbuster is the grail of grails for a lot of people, and for some it is, this guy should be that, just shrunk down to 1/12 scale. They've managed to capture the essence of Hulkbuster in a way that I haven't seen really done before aside from the Hot Toys one. He's chock full of diecast, 75% diecast in fact. He's painted to the nines. He looks absolutely gorgeous. The articulation is great. In fact, the articulation is better than the Hot Toys Hulkbuster. Plus, he has a bunch of moving parts and panels. He's got LEDs. He's got the Mark 43 bust on the inside. This guy's fantastic. There's no two ways about it. As I said earlier, I've got my eye on Comicave. If they decide to make any more Infinity Saga stuff, yeah, I'm all in. I am very, very curious now though to compare this guy to the 3.0 version when he eventually comes out, because they should technically be roughly around the same scale, so it'll be very interesting to see which is superior. But just between you and I, my money is on Comicave, because this guy is so darn awesome. Now, if you are looking to pick him up, he is available from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is, of course, down in the description below, and they do have 12-month installment plans if you are a fan of paying off your figures over time. Also, while you are down in the description, why not check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the awesome Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.